ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
Adiyan Swami. Yeah, Adiyan has another question. Devri said that we doesn't believe in any kind of the vratams or the any orthodox things actually before while answering the question before the one couple of weeks ago. So in a particular house actually, when especially like what happens is I want to say a little scenario and I want to ask Devri. Yeah. Like in one house actually they after the marriage of their son they brought daughter-in-law actually to their home. What happened is in within a month or for a few days after they said that for son's job gone due to some reasons actually. So they are blaming the daughter-in-law because of her feet kalgunam sari ille appadi aayidche. They are
Because
saying
she entered the home, it's all happening.
Yeah, and the second scenario is whenever we woman's husband dies actually, they say that ivalakka idu ille sari ille, her jatkam is like this, like that they say.
Right.
So if we are not believing any in such this thing, prapanas, why they are blamed in that way, Swami? That one I wanted to ask Devri.
This is because of lack of knowledge among prapannas also. So even though we are all prapannas, many of us are not even getting the basic sampradaya knowledge from both our let's say elders, parents, and so on, and also from the acharyas. Again, both the individuals as well as the acharyas have to share the blame in this, because when the individuals they get an opportunity to see the acharyas, knowledgeable persons, they are not inquiring about these things. They just if one is somewhat educated in sampradayam, they will just do a pranamam or even offer full obeisances, dandavat pranams, and then they will just go away. They will feel shy and they will move away. And the acharyas also thinking that if I give them sampradaya knowledge, some basic understanding, then they will not even come to us. Let them come whenever they are interested. So there is lack of intent in both sides. So because of this, what happens is the children grow up to become educated and so on in worldly affairs. But when it comes to basic sampradayam principles, what are SrIvaishNava supposed to do in various situations, what is our fundamental principle, why we should fully depend on Bhagavan, why we should not go to other devatas, why we should not go to other pariharams and so on. So none of these concepts are taught to many of the youngsters. And when they grow up, they become totally ignorant about this. But they do stick to some concepts which are kind of hearsay. So those things, even the elders, they are also lacking knowledge. So they also, certain things they may have heard from their elders who were just superstitious. They were just also not as educated in the sampradayam as they should be. And then these things, this ignorance kind of gets transmitted from one generation to another and from friends and so on. And there is not any great effort from anyone in the family to correct these things. Everyone just goes with the flow, and then everyone is more focused on how one is performing well in their office, their college, and so on. and nobody is bothered about what sampradayam knowledge, what samskarams one is acquiring in our sampradayam. So because of this lack of knowledge and lack of educating the children and youngsters, this keeps coming. Either they become totally atheist, that they don't believe anything, they just go about their life trying to be as rich as possible, as respectable in the society as possible, and so on. Or they come this way where they are semi-literate in some of the Sanatana Dharma principles, and at the same time they are not intelligent enough to understand the SrIvaishNava Sampradayam principles and apply it in their life. So this is the major problem. I'm not saying every single family, but we can probably see this in a good majority of SrIvaishnava families nowadays. So in your example, particular woman comes into a family and her husband, this family's boy, he dies or he loses his job, and they immediately blame the girl for that. And that is not correct at all, because it is not anyone's mistake. Maybe it is just an accident, maybe it's just fate. Anyway, that person has to lose his job or he has to die. Whether he is married to this girl or not, he was to die. So some of these are just superstitious. Is that clear?
Yes, Swami. Adiyan. Thanks
So
for
from our side, it is okay to, be sad about these things, that people are like this, and we should try to help out those who are in such mentality. That if we look at, this is why whenever we go to our friends' places, relatives' places, we have to try to bring up some conversations which lead us to Sri Vaishnava principles, how we should be as Sri Vaishnavas, how we should be very dignified, how we should be very gentle about things, how we should be very faithful in Bhagavan and Purvacharyas, and bring up some examples from Purvacharyas' lives, how Bhagavad Ramanuja lived his life, how Alvars lived their lives, how Puratalvan lived his life, how Bhattar lived his life, and so on. So if we present some examples, most youngsters will catch the concepts, and at least it will create some curiosity in them, and trying to and will lead them to investigate more on these topics, do some research. People are always looking into YouTube and Facebook and social media. So, and there is a lot of good things also in social media these days. So people, if they are curious, they will go and search for certain things, and they will find out, and they will eventually be guided by Antaryami Bhagavan towards some good spiritual progress. So from our perspective, we have the responsibility as Sri Vaishnava to try and give good knowledge to others, guide others, and help them progress spiritually. So if we get a chance to discuss with others, we have to try to present these principles nicely. It's not that we should not do it in a way that we are advising and we are always superior, and that is a very important aspect. We have to be humble, and it should be casual suggestions, conversations, rather than impositions and forcing someone to do certain things, because that will repel people. They will go back, they will move away from us, or they will try to convince us in the other way.
ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
To learn such valuable information about our Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, please download Koyil, Koyil app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Our website is koyil.org, koyil.org.